Alright, I guess I better turn off the helicopter video. Learning how to fly an UH-1 Huey. So this video is on words. I was watching something on YouTube where women are angry that men say hello. Like somehow they are being victimized because someone said hello. But they're very sexist about it. It's okay for a woman to say hello, but not for a man. That's sexist. That there is sexist. There's a post that I just posted up on my Facebook. A woman was talking about the word guys. Alright, you're offended by the word guys. Can't use the word dudes, can you? Because somebody will take offense to it. Meanwhile, Natalie called everybody dude. Man, woman, it didn't matter. We were all dudes. Matter of fact, I use dude quite a bit. I still use it for men and women. Dudes is offensive. So we can't say anything that's gender specific, right? Well, that depends on who you are. There are times where I say yes ma'am. That's how I was taught, that's how I was raised. I say yes ma'am, yes sir. Those are apparently not okay. But it depends on what crowd you're in. Some people insist upon it. Some people say, don't call me ma'am, it makes me feel old. Really? It makes you feel old. Well, you're just looking for an excuse to get offended because you have poor self-esteem. That makes you feel old? Holy shit. Now, I'm not somebody who's going to get offended by the word dude. I'm not going to get offended by the word guys. I'm not going to get offended by someone saying hello. Of course, I use words like cunt and whore and bitch. And I use them for very specific purposes and in very specific situations. If I'm going to insult you, you deserved it. If you are going out of your way to try to twist everything into an insult, you're a fucking idiot and you're wasting my oxygen. So I got a great idea here. So that nobody gets offended by anything, since something that you say to one person will be taken offensively by another, and what they don't take offense to, somebody else is going to take offense to, and what they take offense to, somebody else is going to go, well, that's what you should have said. How about we just make it illegal to speak? Let's make it against the law for anyone to speak. Equality, right? Equality first. Let's make it illegal for men to speak and women. Let's make it illegal for children to speak and adults. Let's make it illegal for civilians to speak and soldiers and police. Let's make it illegal for politicians to speak. Let's make speaking illegal. Because, and I know that you people are going to be pissed off about this, but you people are out of your fucking minds. People are being shot to death, stabbed to death, murdered daily. And you're offended by the word guys. You're offended by someone saying hello. If someone says hello to you in passing, it must mean that they're trying to have sex with you and they're thinking about your genitalia. Meanwhile, what are you thinking about when you post up that Facebook meme about needing some dick? You just shamed somebody for saying hello, and you were literally on the internet trolling for penis. Today alone, I saw at least 30 women trolling for penis. But then, women, there's another one of those terms. My mom hates the word women because she says it is only used derogatorily. How about descriptively? The women's restroom, the men's restroom. Women. And the one that pisses her off the most is the word woman. Woman, please, get the fuck over yourself. Is that offensive? Of course it was. I meant it offensively. I stated it intentionally to be offensive. However, if I say there's a woman across the street who needs help, that's descriptive, but it's not just descriptive, it's helpful for her because people are more likely to help out a woman than a man. They are more likely to give money to a woman than a man. They're more likely to put a woman up for the night than they are for a man. A woman gets pulled over just as often as men. They get pulled over at the same rate for the same offenses. Meanwhile, women get 1/3 the amount of tickets that men get in the best state in the Union. 1/5 the amount of tickets in most of this great nation. This nation where a woman's opinion can have a man incarcerated. Her opinion. Yes, you can go to jail over a woman's opinion. Meanwhile, your opinion doesn't matter if you have a penis. The facts don't matter if they show that a woman's opinion is wrong. We need to stop coddling women. We need to hold women responsible the same as men. If you want equality, you have to be willing to be treated equally. That doesn't mean you are only treated equally when it comes to getting paid, or only treated equally when it comes to some other feminist program that you have brainwashed into your head. It means equal. It means if you fuck up, you serve the same amount of time as a man. If you commit the same crime, you deserve the same amount of time that a black man would get. Oh, there's some offensive stuff right there. I said black man. What's the politically correct term today that I should be using? Because in my lifetime, what's been politically correct is 8 to 10 different things that we're supposed to use as a descriptive. So let's just not describe them. And when a police officer says, all right, well, what did they look like? You can't say black, it's offensive. You can't say white, it's offensive. You can't say brown, it's offensive. You can't say they had brown eyes now, can you? Of course not, it's offensive. So let's all get offended about words. Let's all get offended about your insecurities. If you want to go off the fucking hook because a male said hello to you, you're a complete fucking basket case and you need to be locked up where you can't hurt people. The prettier you are, the more it is you need to be locked up. Because people will harm other people over your opinions. Meanwhile, if you're 350 pounds and covered with warts all over your face, yeah, people don't really give a shit. They don't. Oh, somebody called you fat and ugly? You just need to get over it. Meanwhile, oh, you said hello to a pretty woman? You fucking piece of shit, you're probably a fucking rapist. You're out of your fucking minds. And you're damn right I speak out. There's a good reason for it. I use much harsher words than the word guys or dude. I use much more harsh words, and I use them for emphasis. This is an important fucking issue. Whereas if you say, hey, this is pretty important, people will blow you off. Now, when I use the term cunt, I use it for a very specific purpose. You got someone hurt by not telling the truth. There's a big difference between he might and he did. When Alicia Bollinger was spreading lies saying that I threatened her and her family in Virginia, she lied through her fucking teeth. And people actually physically harmed me over that. And you want to be offended by the word dude. You want to be offended by the word guy. You want to be offended by someone saying hello. Bitch, get off your fucking high horse. Get off of your getting butthurt about every goddamn thing. Because those things that you're bitching about that ugly dude said to you. When you see that dude at the nightclub that you want to fucking bone. Yeah. Him saying hello to you puts a smile on your face. See, we're not talking about what's politically correct and what's not politically correct. We're talking about what's okay for ugly people versus what's okay for not ugly people. We're talking about what's okay for Natalie Bollinger versus what's okay for me. We're talking about what's okay for Zayd Atkinson versus what's okay for Michelle Rodriguez. Meanwhile, I know a lot of people in the LGBT community, and I'm going to touch on this subject for damn sure, that have their own descriptions. Don't call me gay, that's offensive. All right, I won't. But then the next one down the line is pissed off that you don't call him gay. That you said homosexual instead. And then there's the ones that make up their own special magic fucking happy-go-glory fucking bullshit. I prefer to be called a unicorn. Okay, I'll call you a unicorn. I will call you a unicorn because you asked me to. But if you go off for 20 minutes about how I'm offensive because I didn't know to call you a unicorn, you can kiss my ass. And I'll mark the spot. I'm all ass. You want to get offended, and then you want to treat people completely like shit because you're offended. What the fuck are you offended over? Are you offended over a hello? Or are you offended because somebody just beat your face in because some woman fucking lied? Because she has a low self-esteem. Natalie Bollinger is fucking absolutely beautiful. Her sister Alicia too. But because they grew up with the parents that they did, a mother who neglected them and chose alcohol and abusive men over her own children. And because Ted Bollinger chose to sexually abuse them and choose drugs over his own children. Same thing with Shelley. Shelley chose drugs over her own children. Danica chose drugs over her own children. No, I have zero respect for that. Amy Kingery chose drugs over her own children. Rihanna Ingersoll chose alcohol over her own children. My mother chose cocaine over her own children. My father chose cocaine over his own children. I was literally beaten for the color of my skin and raped in the system that I went into because my parents cared more about drugs than their own kids. So the next time you want to get offended that I said hello, keep in mind, I'm not doing it to be offensive. If I was trying to be offensive, I would call you a filthy snatch rag.